camera a bit. Oh, it's darker.
No worries. Let me restart everything. Okay. I believe we're back. All right, Bo, we are back. Take it away. Is everyone back? Everyone's back. Yeah.
We're
Everyone's
back.
All right.
We're all
good.
back.
Before you is a 4-foot tall being, gray, warty skin, maybe has 2 teeth. One lazy eye seems to be floating in the middle to make her a little bit cross-eyed. Gray hair coming out of a parka. She seems to be wearing 10 or 12 different robes. So she looks huge, but really because she's probably wearing just a massive amount of clothing. Just a ton. She can barely move in it. And she moves into view and looks at you and says, Toby, put the kettle on. We have guests. They appear friendly enough. So they do. Come. She turns around and she begins waddling towards the light.
It's nice to meet you. What was your name again?
Yes. I'm Saranthula, she says from behind. And she waddles over, and what you can see in the background is, along with the lights illuminated now, you see that there's a massive wall to the left filled with giant 60-foot fans just and you see her abode or area. There's a sort of large canvas wall to the left, and it appears as though the settlement's been made to block out the wind. So it's not a covered tent, it's a large sort of wall built up onto the ice. And up in front, you see a little encampment. There are 4 large ice blocks surrounding what appears to be a fire pit that's currently not lit. There's a big cauldron in the center above the fire pit. And there appears to be little shelves with all kinds of knickknacks, little glass containers, little boxes and trays. Can't see what's in them, but you do note in some of the jars there's maybe some sort of organic material sitting in purpley pink liquids. And she moves over. There's some benches around the campfire. It's unlit, but she moves in that direction. She dims some of the spotlight in your direction, and she says, Come, take a seat. Welcome.
Can we start this fire, please? I'll say.
Sure.
You...
Toby, can you start the fire? And she looks to one of the ice blocks, and you immediately notice there's a human trapped in the ice block. Just frozen with a lab coat and pants, is like face frozen with an expression of horror.
Great.
Fine, Toby, I'll do it. She goes over to one of her shelving units, and her hand shaking, pulls out a little box of tinder. She gets to the fire and she starts. Oh, damn it.
Allow me, if you may.
One of us can do it. You sit down.
Oh, you're a dear.
I'll
She looks
reach
at you
into the fire
Okay.
and use the flame soul to light it afire. A flame.
Whoosh. And she looks and she goes, Oh, did you see that, Toby? Look at what he did. That's incredible. So it is. Oh, how lovely. You're going to fit right in here, Vorel. And she makes her way over to what looks to be some sort of old, ancient wicker chair just towards the back, and she sits in it heavily, and she's sort of stuffed up because she's got 12 different robes on. She looks like she's wearing like literally 12 jackets. Her arms are like puffed out and everything like that. She goes, it's a relief to know you're not here for violence. Are you?
No.
They say they come in peace, Toby. And she looks over to the frozen. I think we'll be okay. But if they're not, they misbehave, we know what to do.
So what happened? Why
Well,
did it freeze like this?
Oh, the room you're in. It's a long story. Isn't it, Toby?
Why do you keep
You think
speaking
so?
to that dead person in the ice?
I'm not speaking to a dead person. Toby's well enough alive. Tell him, Toby.
Bad
See?
news. Bad news for you. I didn't mean to interrupt, though. Go ahead and tell us your tale.
My tale? I want to know what you're doing here. How did you get in here? Where do you come from? Have you been trapped in this place too and came this way?
We came in from the vents up above, and that's where we're from, above all of this.
I heard you in the world above, making all kinds of noise.
That was us.
How did you get through the vents? They are filled with ice.
We have some tricks as pertains to that. Easy enough to manage for us, but now we find ourselves somewhat stuck down here.
I see. Your lizard man made fire. Certainly we never planned for that. Don't think that was something that was a part of the lizard project.
The Lizard Project?
Yes. My Toby. Toby here knows more about it than I do.
Well,
you came
we
through the
seem to
vents.
be unable to understand Toby, so why don't you enlighten us yourself with what the Lizard Project might be?
The lizard project. You don't know. What's going on in the world right now? Where do you come from? Do the cities of Earth still stand? Who rules this world of men? You there, men! He points to Nash. Men!
Yes.
Where are your congresses?
My congresses.
Yes, the what do they call your president?
How long
Who's
have you,
president of Earth?
how long have you been down here?
Oh, a long time. A very, very long time.
The reign of presidents and kings ended a millennia ago. How old are you?
I don't well know. What of Elahandar? Does it still live or exist? Does it stand?
Elahandar.
Are our people there? Stanley Billings.
Ah, people, you're an elf?
Well, you don't know, do you? I see ignorance painted across your face with the greatest of strokes.
I don't know anything about Elhandar.
Despair is me. Oh. Oh no. Wait. You don't know its fate, or you don't know what happened to it? Tell me.
I know nothing about it. I've heard of it.
Have you
but
been
as-
to the stars?
No.
So you don't know. It could still be there.
I suppose it's possible. To be honest, it's typically spoken about as if it's a myth. There's not exactly a lot of elves running around these days.
We must find out. You must find out. It must still live. You must go there.
Well, I would be glad to, but the problem is in the here and now how we're going to get out of this place.
Yes, yes. You've given me hope and fantasy, but yes, there is no reprieve from this endless, interminable prison here. I'm afraid we are here forever. There's no way out. I've tried.
I mean, there's
No
got to be
reprieve.
some option. We managed our way in well enough.
Well, perhaps you know the way out.
Yes, it's back the way we came, but
Do you have
The
any
problem-
food?
I do. I'll
Can I
take
have some?
Out a
I'm so
take out a
hungry.
ration and share it with her.
She unfurls it and begins just like begins eating it savagely. She talks to you with her mouth full. This is quite good. Thank you.
We have a emergency that we're dealing with at the moment. A small elven girl has been taken by a mind flayer named Uvexid, something like that. He plans to do some sort of world merger that's gonna destroy our entire planet if we don't stop him. Are you paying attention right now?
She looks over at Toby and is silent, eyes wide with apprehension. She looks over at you.
I guess my point is that Elhandar being real, not being real, still existing, not existing, doesn't really matter if our world doesn't exist anymore. And that has to be our top priority.
Oh, what are you here for then? To slay the Illithid?
If not just that, we need to stop the machine.
Okay, Toby, I'm going to tell him. The Illithid spoke to us. We heard it. Servants of demons from realms far away. Finally here, at the Center for Human Demon Interdisciplinary Studies. We've spoke with him. We've conversed about what he is doing here.
What did he say? How long ago was this?
Several, I don't know. You keep asking me questions about time as if I can count time in a place like this.
You have recollections of
hard.
presidents. We haven't had those in 1,000 years. These are normal questions.
Stanley, they don't know, do they? Your friend does not know.
I don't think Stanley knows.
Do you know what happens to an elf when they grow old? And they don't have a place to return to?
I have seen incidents of it, I think, but I don't know. For
I am withered. This planet of yours, man, human man, is vile, and no place for an elf to return to the earth. There's nothing for us here. So we do not die, we wither.
Do you?
We've been here for countless years.
There's no end. You don't wither away. There's no. You just get more shrinky and old.
We become old, and we wither, and we rot, and we become devious.
I have definitely run into one of those before.
The humpening.
Yes.
Pharrell members well.
I must return to the earth, Stanley. You must take me to Elhandar, where I can rest and be amongst our people again. Yes, Toby. Yeah, and bring Toby too.
I would have no problem with this. Our first mission, though, is to get out of here, to stop what these mind flayers are up to, and then we can see about getting you off the planet.
They are here to use the traversal drive to bring their world to this one. The
Yes, and
great, unyielding engine of power.
that's something we need to stop. So,
This is
can you
most
help us
distressing.
do that?
You have to promise me that you will take me to Elhandar. You must do this.
I will do everything in my power to help you find a way.
But you must do more. You must promise me. You must promise me.
I will find you a way.
Toby, his tone suggests that he does not wish to promise me. A show of promise. Stanley?
She'll have to shed like 15 coats to fit in those vents again. We're not going that way.
I feel I have come here before you unarmed. I've offered you my food, and I have given you my word as both a man and an elf that I will do everything in my power to find you a way home. Now, it would be foolish of me to promise you something, lady, that I cannot guarantee. But what I can promise you is that I will do anything I can to help you find your way. That is as good as I can offer.
You can offer more. You can swear your bond to me. She begins digging through her coats. And she unclasps a necklace she has made of wooden totems. Little symbols, like there's a bird with wings on it, carved from wood, and a small acorn, things like that. She unclasps it and she says, she holds it out from her hands. Ah! She holds it out from her hands, sort of this way, and says, "You must bond yourself to your commitment to me. Take this and wear it. It will give you a boon."
Alright, I will reach out and take it and say, "You have my word."
Her face looks at you expectantly, waiting for you to put it on.
Take the boon and put it around my neck.
Okay. As you place it around your neck, you feel a sense of passion and strength wash over you, all in one sort of feeling. And you now have a +1 to AC, a necklace with a +1 to armor class.
Nice. Does it have a name?
Just add it. There's a amulet of +1, then add it. I don't have
Okay.
a specific item for you.
Sure.
Or just note it and we'll add it in there later.
Okay. Now,
Toby.
can you help us?
Now that you've promised yourself to me, to take me to Elhandar to rest. Yes. The Illithid spoke to me. He asked me to seal the way to the engineering bay. He promised me release from this life. In this place is the enemy you seek. Yes?
Inside the engineering bay, yes.
You wish me to open the doors?
Yes.
Okay. She sits sort of still for a moment and then pulls from her sleeve a data pad and sort of clicks it and begins swiping through it. And after a minute goes by, she goes, There! It is done! I've unlocked the way for you.
That easy.
Yes. This here is the data center of the facility. From here we control all of the facility's functions. What isn't damaged, that is. I have access to much from here, but little reason to use it. Now, if you can find a way out of here, you can make your way to meet the illithid friend of yours.
Well, we can go out the way we came, but it would certainly make it easier to keep my word to you if you would come with us, at least for a part of it. I wouldn't want to put you in any danger, but at least not leave you trapped in this place.
Come and get me when it is time to go. I have no wish to see these illithid. If indeed you can make good on your promise. There is a shuttle in the golden, what did I call it? Sorry.
Golden Palace.
Gordon Shuttle Bay.
In
Golden.
the Golden Shuttle Bay are spaceships that travel the stars. They will take us to Elhanda. Assuming they're still there, have you been to the Shuttle Bay, my precious elf companion?
We haven't checked it out yet.
You should do so.
All right, we will definitely see to that, and you will hear from us again before we depart. Now, one other thing that I can offer. We have been traveling, fighting, and trying to stay alive for some time down here, and we are in need of rest. I can create a dome of protection that will keep us warm and comfortable throughout the night. You would be able to know a time, not needing to pile up layers just to keep your warmth. Would you like to join us?
I'm gonna stay with Toby. That offer might be a little... We just met each other. I'm not comfortable with this. Toby, don't... Settle down, Toby. Remember, Toby has to come with us, too. Carl, we can leave here.
Really doesn't like Carl.
What about Gordon?
Yeah.
Maybe we leave him, too. To keep Carl company. But Toby must come.
Very well.
So, but we can have a dinner party. Do you want to have one? I've been saving some stuff in the pantry. We could eat it all together.
You said you had no food. You took Stanley's food.
Well, I've been eating nothing but manta weed this entire time.
Oh.
It's all that grows in such resilience. I've had so many days of manta soup, manta tea, manta noodles. Everything manta. It's delicious to eat something else, but in my withered state, I'm afraid nothing really satisfies except the sweet release of the afterlife.
Well, we'll save that until you get home, at the very least. And I'll look to my companions. Are we fine to rest here? We don't have to worry about the cold as long as we're in the dome.
Do you have a chain for your lizard person?
Excuse me?
No one chains him.
You must keep a dog on a leash. They are dangerous.
Varel is no dog.
Varel, she's from a different time. Ignore this. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Let's just say we are in a more, despite being in a less civilized time, in some ways we are a more civilized people. And Varel and those like him
But I do know.
are not dogs.
But I do know. They're dangerous. We
So,
concocted the plan for the dragons, attempting to use their kind, but they were too difficult to control. It had to be terminated. I'm surprised to still see one after all this time. They are dangerous.
Would it surprise you to know there are more like him?
It wouldn't surprise me. I know nothing of your world. But I know that where they come from. In the laboratories, you could see for yourself where his kind were created. They are a tool.
Well, he's our
What-
friend and not a tool.
What letter of these laboratories would one find such a site?
Let's see. Well, probably the experimentation happened in the sea wing of the laboratories, but surely you could find the most dangerous versions of your kind in the containment facilities.
And how would one access the containment facilities?
I have not left these walls in a millennia, Lizardborn. I know not what shape it's in, but you will find it on the main rail station, no doubt, if there's to be access to it.
C and D, or C and B, have collapsed, but A is full of purple crystals. Do you know their kind?
Oh, purple crystals. Anything about these crystals, the properties they have that would help recollect my memory of Toby? Do you know anything about purple crystals? Yes. Well, Toby was involved in this particular project, actually. He says that they did not have a name, but they were working on a weapon of mass destruction that they could use against the dragon invasion. That they would fire these crystals into the sky. And the particular reason that these crystals would be good was, you see, if regular ordnance in the sky produces negative results to the atmosphere of this planet, but the crystals would dissipate into thin substances, being environmentally friendly. And it's their proximity to sound causes them to explode. So you must take great care to be quiet around these crystals, or they will explode. The problem that they were trying to solve is that they were somewhat organic in nature, and they were breeding. It sounds as if there's an entire colony of crystals.
Yeah, they seem to have grown quite wild all the way out into the actual tramway.
Fascinating. Fascinating indeed. Isn't it, Toby? Toby wants to see it for himself.
Toby will have to grow legs out of that ice and get over there himself. Toby doesn't seem very mobile to me.
Do you happen to know anything about somebody called the principal?
Well, Not somebody called the principal, but there was a principal who operated this facility. Principal Dombrovsky. Is this who you mean?
I'm not sure. We don't know any other name.
What? Why do you ask me this? Toby?
Oh, just where we're from. There's
Aren't
someone
you a
with that
pretty
name.
one? Pretty, pretty. Toby likes you. Toby, it's rude to stare.
I don't think Toby knows how to not stare.
Please excuse Toby. But-
It's fine.
How are you allowed to speak, tiefling girl?
What do you mean?
Your kind serve your demon lords. You are not allowed to think for yourselves, act for yourselves. Did you escape your master?
We did.
We? There's only one of you. Toby, do you see any more tieflings? Do they have hidden agents among us?
A lot has changed since you were in the outside world. As it turns out, most of the people out there are just people like any other. Not
There are more people than you.
There's plenty.
Who? This principal you speak of? What is
I
he?
mean, he is something else.
Oh. I have plenty of time. Please tell me. Toby, we'd like to hear tales of the world outside. Yes, yes. Tell us tales.
Toby.
What is happening? The world still exists, yet it is nigh over, and here I have missed out on all of it. Do you have a wife, Stanley?
No, I do not.
Human man, are you in love with anyone?
None of your damn business.
Hope certainly has someone she's in love with. I can see it in her eye.
Hope will stay quiet. And to kind of Russ, this is very awkward for Hope, so she'll just start digging for the whiskey and take it out, take a drink, and start passing it around.
Okay, okay. Who do you pass it to?
Who's next to me on my right?
I'll take it. This is adjoining.
Yes?
What are we swearing by?
I don't know what adjoining is.
We're swearing.
We are sharing.
Yes. Let's swear by the immobility and ineffectual nature of Toby. Hear, hear.
To Toby.
Oh, did you hear that, Toby?
To Toby.
That's very nice.
He may as well be a piece of furniture.
To the glory of Toby. I'll drink. Pass it on.
Okay. The lady takes it. She takes the drink and goes, yeah. She gives it over to Stanley on her right.
Stanley takes it, takes a big swig. To Toby, passes it to Nash.
I will say.
Whiskey is being offered to you.
I will say to Toby. He reminds me of a rock. And then I'll just raise the glass. And then.
So tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. It's exciting to have new people in camp.
Where do we even begin, really?
Could recount her all our
It's
days.
like a desert up there. Very bright,
Oh,
very dry.
a desert. Does that mean the dragons won? It sounds like they scorched the earth.
In a way of speaking, yes.
And
And
by
yet,
that, he means, yes, that's literally what happened.
and yet you still are here. And the Illithid are here fighting over it. The battle has not ended. So it hasn't. So it hasn't.
No, the demons seem to be trying to gain a foothold on the world now.
Then why do you seek this Ubjexfit, this Illithid? Apart from saving this planet, why you? Are you its glorious protectors?
Yes.
You could say that.
At exactly the same time that Varel says yes, Stanley says no.
In a manner of speaking. We have our own interests, but
Discord amongst your group. One believes they are here to protect the realm. And the tragic Stanley. That must
I
be your
don't-
human side talking. You said you were half an elf.
That's right.
Ignore your human impulses. You are elf. The inferior side of you must learn to overcome
Hey.
and fight.
hey. What do you mean inferior?
Humans are inferior. They live short lives. They have a precocious nature that is fascinating to us, but it's tragic, the existence you lead. It saddens our hearts greatly. to
Some of
watch
us have fire in us. And if we're not careful, it has the nasty side effect of burning through 15 layers of clothing real quick.
Oh yes, yes. The sensitive ego of the human male. It's been a long time since I've seen this. You try so hard, yet your lives are so short. Finally, when you truly get it, you die. Sad.
Well, we get in what we can while we're here.
Yes. Yes.
And unlike you, we
I'm
don't have
here
1,000
to,
years to sit here. We need to freaking rest.
I'm here to save a girl. That's
you
why
said.
I'm here.
To save a little girl.
Yes.
Who is this girl?
Her name is Syrah. She's an elf, like us.
And who took this elf?
The Mind Flayer did. Apparently, he needs her for some reason tied to the machine.
Ah, a catalyst. It needs a catalyst from a superior race of being, an elf.
Let's tone it down with the talk of superior race.
Please do not be sensitive. It's simply a fact that elves are the chosen of the celestial races.
By who?
It is the nature of things.
Nobody chose you.
Yes, we were chosen by the gods.
Where
By
are,
all
the-
of the gods.
where are your gods now?
They are out there.
Are they laughing
In
and
realms
having
in
a?
which they rule.
Are they having a good time because you were stuck here for 1,000+ years, unable to die, covered in all the coats you've stolen, talking to an inanimate corpse inside of a frozen box?
I am where I need to be. Your mind
Well.
knows anger and confusion. But ours do not.
Well, this is pleasant. Just a pleasant gathering.
Well, do you want to have a feast?
I will
Yes.
take another drink. And Stanley's gonna motion for the bottle.
You must make for me something of your culture. What foods do you eat now? Did you bring any with you?
I brought the drink.
Good.
We have the drink.
I have bat poo. If you want me.
I'm not eating that.
All right.
I just figured we could be down here for a very long time. It might be nice to have a celebration with our new friends, Toby.
There's not going to be a very long time about it. We're going to rest up. We're going to leave.
You're
in a
tired. You're
few
tired.
hours.
I'm just excited to eat your foods, but it sounds like there's no energy amongst you to prepare any food for me. So
I mean,
I
we
will
have-
prepare food for you.
Rations. You've already sampled the food that we have.
She gets up. She waves her hand at you like that, and she starts making her way over to her shelves. And she takes out sort of a pot, and a pot in one hand. She begins moving these organic things that are in there. You're not quite sure what they are. She sort of pulls them out. I'm just going to the garden. I'm going to pull some Malta. I'll be right back. And she begins shuffling her way off towards the back, and you hear the sound of a. I mean, you can't see it because she's out in blackness now, as if she's opened some kind of door. And a little glow of a light comes on, and you see a window. There's a wall, maybe a window in it, and inside you see there's some kind of makeshift like hydroponics lab of some kind in there. And she's sort of moving amongst tables and like picking out plants, these little plants, and there's like these halogen lights, and there's a sort of setup for food for growing a Malta weed back there, whatever that is.
Well, this woman is crazy.
She's been here a long time.
As you say crazy, you look over to Toby and just see him.
Toby's pretty good company, though.
Toby's not bad.
I go,
Oh.
hey, Toby. I go, hey.
Toast to Toby and take another drink.
I go, hey, Toby, think fast. And I throw just a pinch of bat guano right at his face. Just a pinch. While she's gone. Oh, weird. Toby didn't react. It's almost like Toby isn't here. You're all acting like this matters. It's a freaking dead guy inside of a encased ice. He's not real. And the sooner we get away from her craziness and that freaking friend of hers, we're better off.
The only person more obsessed with Toby than her is you. Are you secretly concerned that Toby might be alive?
No, he creeps me out. You shouldn't keep dead things around. If something dies...
Well, we keep you around for some reason.
You have the bone of one of my ancestors.
That's true. I have a tailbone. But if I've got his face looking at me all the time, what a horrible thing that is. It's like us if we kept George around and said, hey, George, how are you tonight? That's a terrible idea. She's lost it, and that guy's dead. And I refuse to acknowledge that he's somehow special. It's just Toby. Dead Toby. Staring off into nothing. He has long shaken off his coil. He's done.
We'll take another swig of whiskey.
Stanley, I hope you will reconsider the feast. Either we feast on her plants, if they are indeed plants, or we share our rations, which we have plenty of, in your bag.
I think we would be better sticking to what we have and what we know. I will pass out rations to the group.
All right.
Okay.
I like that.
We should not disrespect her hospitality. It'd be best to share them when she returns, not having eaten in her absence.
Do we have to try her weed stew or whatever she's making?
Certainly not. She is withered. I believe that it is not healthy for us to try anything that would sustain such a being.
But she's hundreds, thousands of years old.
The last time I met a withered elf, they were far more violent than this one, but they were also very obsessed with me trying some sort of food. Don't know if there's any reason to suspect a connection there, but perhaps it would be better if we avoided it.
In the solar mines, when they would feed us the destroyed, rotting corpse of another miner, and sometimes radiated animals and we didn't like it, we would put our hands to our mouths of this we were eating. We'd say, but really we would hide it behind our backs or tuck it under the dirt or put it somewhere else. So I may employ that here if Grandma Sycamore tries to feed me anything weird.
It's a very sad story, Nash.
It is sad. We ate like shit in the solar mines.
Huh.
They told us it was fresh livestock. But I think I was eating fresh Jerry and hadn't seen Jerry since.
Then why do you order the special at my restaurant?
Your food is good. And
But you eat the lowest class available.
Yes, but it's not a coworker. It's another beast of sorts. If you fed me Stanley here, I would have a problem with that. But you're not feeding.
As would I.
You're not feeding other humans or tieflings or elves or half elves or any of that. Your food, while it's nothing's perfect on this world, but I'd take what you prepare there over just about any of this. I'd take it over these rations.
And it would be tough to eat.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I'm as likely to want to eat part of Toby over there as I would whatever it is she's preparing.
Why have we picked this moment to have a deep-seated discussion about cannibalism?
You've not thought of this? We are venturing together. We have been many perilous places. I have chosen which among you I would eat first. It's only natural.
Who?
All right.
You.
Who is it?
Who would you eat first?
But I'm mostly metal now.
That is true, but you have one good thigh, and it has more fat than anyone else here.
I'm just gonna stare at Burrell and take an angry little drink of whiskey.
It is only natural. Stanley, who would you eat first of here?
I would not eat anybody here.
That is absurd. If I were to die, you should all feast on my remains. I am strong and tough.
I'm closest to the animals.
Yeah.
If that gives you comfort, then let it be.
No offense. I would hesitate not at all to eat a rock lizard. But I'm not. I don't make a habit of eating my friends, Varel. But if we had
But
to,
would you be safe to eat, Nash?
me, no. I don't think you should eat me.
I mean, I think we all agree that if you're eating Nash, things have gone very, very wrong.
Yeah, if I'm your only choice, this I agree with Stanley. I am rot personified. There's no part of me that hasn't been touched or tainted by the radiation I experienced.
I would sell your heart in town.
The heart perhaps is worth more than all of me. And I would encourage you to do that, but not until I'm dead.
Well, I feel like we've really accomplished a lot here right now. We've got a nice order. We've got a good plan. Boy, I'm getting tired.
We should hurry this up, eat what we need. I look at Toby again, irritated. And
We can save the rations for once we get into the hut. We can hide it from her. She doesn't need to know we're not enjoying the food. We will, make a scene, be hospitable, and retreat at our earliest convenience.
Now, after we save the little girl, we have a chance down here to really uncover a lot about this world we live in, from the principal to the lizard, the spaceships. So we save her and then we study up a bit.
I think that would be a good idea. There's plenty to explore down here. I mean, if we hadn't been in such a rush, I probably would have been inclined to pull through some of the stuff we've already passed, but we've bought some time, and maybe when this is all said and done, we can thoroughly investigate this place.
All right. So, with the conversation sort of tapering off, the old lady comes back, huddling in from the room. The lights go off. Click. She makes her way. Oh, what did I miss? Toby? What were we talking about? Yes, yeah. I brought Malta weeds from the garden. She walks up to the cauldron and she begins putting her hand in the Malta weed pail and putting it in the cauldron. And they're just these green leaves. They look like seaweeds. Starts putting them in. It's not much, but it's what we eat around here. Nah, Carl. He's sick of Malta weed soup.
Can we see Carl as well?
Yeah, there's 4 blocks, each with a corpse in it, all around.
Who are they?
This,
Carl, Toby, and who?
Carl, Toby, Gordon, and the other one was unnamed.
Oh.
I'm going to ask her, what's this one's name?
Which one?
This one here. You haven't. This is Carl. This is Toby. This is Gordon. What's corpse is this? Or what friend is this? What is this?
That's Benson.
Benson.
We don't talk about him. He's being punished
By you or by one of the other friends or who?
by all of us. One more bad move, and he's out.
What did Benson do?
He keeps stealing Toby's food. I will make food for Toby, and Toby will say, I didn't get any dinner. And I saw Benson with Malta weed in his mouth. And when I asked him, did you take Toby's Malta weed soup? You know what he said? He said, no, it wasn't me. Oh, he lied to me, as well as stealing. And when I confronted him, he denies everything. But, oh, we know. We know, Nash.
Okay, well then,
Perhaps.
no food for Benson then.
I think you should stay away from Benson.
All right.
Okay. All right. Soup. Making the soup. Nothing to eat. Toby, would you please show our guests where they may relieve themselves if they have to go to the bathroom?
I made a hole on the other side of the room.
She moves back to her shelving and she takes out a jar and she goes, she's trying to open this.
Do you require aid with your jar?
Oh, she's not moving it. She's having a movement.
I see.
Yeah.
Perhaps
should-
the multi-weed constipates.
Yeah, probably.
Toby, can you help me with this? She walks up to Toby's ice block and drops it on the ground in front of him and then walks back to the shelf and gets another jar and goes, she tries to open it.
Well, we got that covered. We know where to go. In case we need to.
And she walks over to Toby's ice block and she drops on the ground. This would do, Toby. She makes her way back. Having given up on the jars, she looks through a shelf and there's she takes out what looks like bicycle chains. She grabs a handful of bicycle chains and walks over to the cauldron and throws the bicycle chains into the cauldron. Let's see, what else?
But what were those? That you just threw in?
Special ingredient, secret ingredient. It's a seasoning. She walks over back to the pile of shelves and she takes out a thing. She shakes it. It sounds like there's a bunch of metal pieces in this box she's shaking. So she takes the box back and takes a handful, scoops it, and you can see really briefly she throws a bunch of nuts and washers just into the soup. Ah, yes, that'll be good. Yes. High source of iron. And she moves back with the box to the shelf.
Stanley, I am quite fatigued.
Yes, me too. Perhaps I should prepare the hut so that we might have a place to sleep for the evening.
Very good. Does anyone want to help me cook here?
Well, the thing about the magic that I'm about to do is everybody needs to be in position. See, the spell needs everybody who's going to be in the hut to be in the area when it is created. So I'm going to need all three of them for a moment.
Very well. Dinner will be ready soon. I'll come and get you.
And
She
might
moves
this
closer to her shelf.
contribution of rations aid your soup over the metal workings?
Metal workings? What
Your-
metal workings?
I think what Varel means is that we're not used to having metal thrown in our soup. Typically, we use food.
I didn't put any metal in the food. So I didn't. Toby, did I put any metal in there? That's what I thought. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, I'm gonna go
I'm-
put that hut together. If I could just have the three of you gather round for just a minute.
Yes.
Sounds
yes,
good.
Please.
We'll walk a little ways from the campsite, and I will cast the spell. It takes a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then the tiny hut springs to life.
Okay. Boom. Tiny hut appears above the ice. Now, note that the floor is also of a new thing, so the ice cold. You're not sleeping on ice, but sleeping on a nice tiny hut floor.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's warm
Tiny
in
hut.
there. Well, not warm, but it's comfortable.
Yeah, very good. Is everyone going in the tiny hut? Is that what you called everyone for a
Already
meeting?
in.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta
Well,
go in there.
unfortunately, I'm stuck in here now because if I leave, it's going to disappear. So, I mean, if any of you want to go back to dinner, you can certainly do that. I'm gonna just lay down here because I'm getting tired.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm bushed. Brah, and I'm gonna walk in there and I'm gonna lay down and pretend like I'm asleep. So if she comes back, it'll just look like I conked out.
Well, is she allowed to enter the hut? Is the question.
She would have to be in the spot where I cast it.
So
is
she's
what
not.
we have learned. Retroactive nerfing of Tiny Hut. You have
see.
to be in the area.
Okay.
She didn't want to, right? She said no when I offered. So
Okay. Sure. Yeah. And so is everyone going in the hut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone going to sleep?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna check my sending stone first.
You take out your sending stone. You see it's like burp, 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 burp. It's like flashing.
All right, cool. I'll listen to the message.
Here's the message. Hope, I need you to send me a response right away. I don't know why I've become Scottish all of a sudden.
Help me! We're all motives now. We can't stop it.
There's an emergency happening. We're all Scottish now.
it's
You must
become a
come
bit of a problem. All of a sudden, I just woke up
Do you
like
call
this.
us a cave?
We're surrounded by bears.
It's been a while. It's. How do I do no beer? Oh my god.
Think of a Draenei. Picture a Draenei.
Yoisakat. No. What did they say?
I don't know. I'm a
Right.
Draenei.
Abana by Christor.
I'm a space goat.
Yeah. Oh. I don't think I can do this accent anymore. I think I forgot how to do it. I just can't do it anymore.
God, do it.
What happened? What's going on with me? What's the centering thing for this? Oh, this is so annoying.
Picture Stukov.
Oh yeah,
Ah.
listen. I
Russian.
do not want
Stukov,
this.
listen.
Yes.
It is
Not
like
one-
Stukov.
Russia.
We're going to
Yeah.
contact you.
There you go.
It has been many days since I've last heard from you. Please let me know that you're okay, or we'll send a party out for you. All right, that's all I got.
It's close enough.
There's a lot of
I like
urgency.
it. Made it through.
I have to go get practicing back in the mirror. Damn. I always speak like a Tia Colleen. There's a whole city full of them. I'll be using this again.
And they never went back to Tiakala again.
All right, Hope will basically do a rundown of what's happened. I think the last time she spoke it was about what was going on with the lizards, and so she'll describe the forest that they're in. They're at, they're trying to save the world, and yeah.
Okay. So you get the message and send it out. There's like a little wind sound like you have on an iPad or whatever. You send the message out. It goes.
Cool.
Oh, there goes my peanut. All right. All right. So everyone's going to sleep. Is that the deal? Besides, after that message. Sorry.
Wait, are we taking watches?
Probably not a bad idea to still do a watch.
Because Hope will take first if we're doing that.
All right, I'll take second.
I'll take third.
Okay.
There's a third.
Who
I'll
took
do
first
last.
watch?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hope did.
So everyone, all the boys immediately crash out, start going to sleep, and you begin to take first watch. You know, sending your message, and then you hear a little on the tiny hut. After about
Yes.
10 minutes, maybe more like 30 minutes. Sorry. The soup is ready. Is this your little home that Stanley
Uh,
talked about?
Yes. Yes.
Well, the soup is ready if you'd like to come have dinner. Wake up the boys.
No,
They're
they're
sleeping.
pretty sleepy. I'll let them sleep, but
That's
Sure,
fine,
I'll
dearie. Why
come.
don't you come and have dinner with me then?
yeah, I'll do that. I'll bring the whiskey with me, and I'll make
Okay.
sure that where I sit, I can keep the hut in my line of sight.
Okay. You bring the whiskey with you, and you go back to the area where there's the bonfire and the large wall that blocks the fans from blowing all the air, the cold air from on what is a server farm, basically, the data center, keeping all the computers cold. But it's clearly overly malfunctioning. You sit down on one of the benches, and she comes to you with a bowl of soup and a spoon, like a little crafted spoon out of like wood. It looks all like naturally made with a knife, like it's just all crude is the word I'm looking for. She puts the bowl in your hands, and the bowl has this sort of glowing purpley pink hue to it. There's steam billowing from it because it's a very cold room. It smells like soup, like chicken, like homemade chicken noodle soup. It smells good. She gives you the spoon and says, "Here you go, dearie. Be careful not to spill it. It'll freeze on the ground, and then it will not look very nice. Try to keep it looking okay here." And she goes to her wicker chair where she has a little table next to it, and she sits down in all of her jackets with her legs poofed out and arms poofed out, and she reaches over for her bowl and puts it in front of her, and she's just drinking. She goes, and when she puts the bowl away from her face, there's little like pieces of organic, you're not sure what it is, sort of hanging from her chin.
Ugh.
That's when you notice she has a couple of hairs. She's got a little beard, like right on the bottom there, because something's hanging off of it.
Hope will hold up the bowl and sip a tiny bit.
Okay, you sip a tiny bit, and you're kind of worried based on the ingredients you saw put into it, but surprisingly, it tastes very good. The malta leaves are kind of crunchy, so you can kind of chew them a little bit. And You slosh it around your mouth and find there are no metal pieces that you were worried about in there. Tastes delicious.
Okay, well, I'll carefully, ever so carefully, go through the soup.
So tell me, Hope, how is it the tieflings are free of their demon masters?
It happened a long time ago. I'm not quite sure when. I just know that now they worship their own gods. They go somewhere else when they die.
Oh. That must have been some battle to free your people from their yoke. They created you from the flesh of men. As part of their dealings with the humans of this world, humans agreed to give them gene soup to make little servants for demons. Humans, they are always rebelling against masters. They have no respect for the order of things, no playing roles. It's definitely your human side that freed you from your demonic masters. It's very interesting. What of your lizard friend? Do you not find him dangerous?
Dangerous to his enemies, yeah, but he's sentient. He's pretty smart.
Why does he have an eye in his chest?
It was something he found. It judged him worthy, and now it lives inside of him.
Something wrong with it. I can't quite tell. There's something wrong with it.
What do you mean?
He was not born that way.
No.
Dark magic surround it. This is felt. But no matter. What of Stanley? What do you think of Stanley?
He's a little sad, but otherwise very kind to people.
But he's handsome, yes? Do you not think so?
I for an elf, I guess.
Well, you've never thought of Stanley in that way?
No.
You're about the same age.
Yes, but I like tieflings.
Do tieflings only consort with other tieflings?
Sometimes.
So you're saying it's possible?
Not really.
Oh, good. Don't tell Toby. But between us girls, I think Stanley's kind of an attractive young man, don't you think?
Well, you should probably let him know before he gets away. You don't. You don't want to regret anything.
I think I might be a bit old for him. It is not our way. But I've been down here a long time and I've been very lonely.
I can imagine.
Do you think he'd...
Probably not, but you never know.
Do you think I should invite him to... But my bed?
Ugh.
The worst he could say is no.
Well, where is he now? Is he sleeping?
Yes.
When would we have the time? He seems very concerned about the Illithid and the little girl. Very, very concerned.
Well, she's an elf as far as we know.
Yes. I know that I'm being selfish, but I only care for leaving this world. But seeing Stanley makes me think perhaps there's a few things I have to experience before I depart.
Well, you should never live with regret, after all.
What about you then? You blushed when I asked of you and someone that had your eye.
It's been a long journey.
He is not among your companions, this person.
No.
Who is he? Tell me about him.
Just someone from back home.
I'm not going to tell anyone if that's what you're worried about.
I, yeah, and hope Uncle Stunner take a drink of whiskey.
Does he have many muscles?
Yes. I forgot.
Is he nice to you or is he mean to you?
Why would he be mean?
Sometimes being mean is attractive. I don't know. Does he ignore you? Does he pay attention to you?
I don't know.
You're not a very good storyteller, are you?
Never was.
Well, Toby and me have been together for a long time. But he doesn't like to admit it to other people. I think he's embarrassed that I am an elf.
But why would he be embarrassed?
Well, he's a human. And humans tend to think we're arrogant. And they don't really get along great. Don't really spend time, what they say, socializing with humans. So they feel I take up all of his time with attention to me. It's difficult. Especially Benson.
Yeah.
I think secretly Benson is in love with me. I see
Yes,
the way
but
he
not-
looks at me.
Not Gordon or Carl?
Gordon and Carl they're very focused on their work here. They don't do well in relationships. They like numbers and charts and the scientific process. Carl, used to specialize in the making of very special weapons.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of weapons?
Well, swords made of lasers and a very weird weapon that would make holes in the universe. Among other things, humans tended to prefer their standard kinetic weaponry. But when you combine magic with the form of the gun, it can produce interesting results for combat. He was fascinated by unconventional warfare.
Oh. Where did he work in the laboratories?
In the laboratories. I don't know which wing. C, I think, is where weapons were kept. No, didn't I say that's where the lizard folk were? Then perhaps it was B. It was definitely in the laboratories, though. You like guns, do you?
Yeah.
I see you have some pistols on your hip there.
Mm-hmm.
You any good with them?
Decent.
That's good, that's good. You'll need it if you're to take on Illithids. What kind of chance do you think you have to defeat an Illithid? Or two?
Decent, I would imagine.
Yes, you think you've got a good shot?
They're pretty weak.
I wouldn't say that now. You must be pretty strong to think them weak. What sort of beings have you vanquished? This isn't your first elvish rodeo.
We've taken on demons. We've taken on a man who could come back to life. Many things.
Oh. So you're heroes, warriors of a kind, yes?
Yes.
Why does Stanley think you're not heroes? When Varel said yes to my question, Stanley said no. Why?
Burrell lacks a lot of social understanding. And some of the things we've done haven't been good.
He has a guilty conscience. I understand this. I too have done some things I've had to live with.
I think everyone has.
Yes. But we do them anyway. Why? Very nature of survival. We must be at peace with our darker selves. Have you done anything you've regretted? Hope?
I wouldn't be here if I hadn't.
Well, that's my soup done. Thank you for keeping an old woman company. I think I'm going to turn in.
Sleep well and thank
Have
you.
yourself a pleasant sleep. And she hops out of her chair slowly and waddles on over to a back area behind another sort of canvas wall, presumably where the bed happens. Oh, and don't forget to turn the fire out.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So Hope will put down the bowl and then try and put the fire out. Just kind of like stamp at it. Oh, no. She won't stamp at it. She'll catch her foot on fire. She'll take... Is the cauldron... Does it still have liquid in there?
Yeah, there's soup in there. Could be
Okay,
saved for
cool.
another day.
She'll slowly pour some of the soup onto the fire to see if it puts it out.
And it does.
Okay, cool. And then she'll put the pot back over the smoky bits and head back to the hut.
Okay, you make your way back to the hut as the wind blows. And you look around and you see, just computers, shelving. You see blocks of ice with humans frozen into it. Like, you start to notice them more and more just around. Make your way back to the hut, and the 2 hours is up, and whoever was up next for watch is awake. Who would that be? Varel?
Be Varel.
That's me.
Oh,
That's
Stanley.
Stanley.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Stanley wakes up. Do you guys switch watches? Anything? Any words exchanged?
Anything of interest, Hope?
Well, if you wanted a quick way to pass the time, I'd go talk with, Sarathala. Sarambala.
Sarandala.
I'd go chat with her, but I can't leave the hut. Pop my head out, but that's about all I can do.
That's right.
But I'll keep an eye on things best as I can. Wake someone up if I see anything.
Alright, well, have a good watch.
Thank you.
Hope we'll go to sleep.
All right, perfect. Stanley, your watch happens without event. Nash and Varel, your watch happens without event.
Okay. Good.
Time goes by. Who's last on the watch?
I think it was Varel, yeah.
All right, Varel. So the 8 hours has elapsed. You're at the very end. Everyone's still sleeping. You're in the hut, looking out. You see no assailants, see no movement. You don't feel the wind, and you don't hear it because it's nice and quiet in the hut, unless you poke your ear out to listen. It's calm in this giant room filled with computers and ice.
Then I enjoy the calm.
All right. You let everyone sleep in. Everyone, you may benefit from your long rest if you needed to do that on your character sheet.
Yeah.
You have made it through the night.
Wait, I forget how this works.
You hit long rest, and then you click it, and then you click confirm, and then you've long rest.
Oh, there it is. All right. Done.
Did it.
All right.
Oh, yeah. That feels good.
Whew, I was exhausted. That felt fantastic.
Glad we stayed here. What happened to Icy Dead People? Where'd she go last night? She have her own place to sleep, I suppose?
Yeah, she had a place.
All right.
All right. Step out with the tent or the little bubble out of
All right.
existence.
As soon as you step out, a large crack in the floor emerges, and a hand shaped of ice forms as if formed from the ice itself, reaches out and grabs at you. I need you to make a grapple contest, please.
Oh, hell. This can be dex based, right?
Dex or strength.
And is it a save? Or is it
It's a contest
athletics?
of grappling.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be using your dexterity only.
So just roll and add dex modifier. So that's 16.
Okay. The hand grabs you and lifts up in a large form from the ice. Just body made of ice and arms of ice. But it's got corpses in it, so you see the frozen visages of beings inside the ice as it forms from outside the ice. And everyone inside sees and hears and watches Stanley being held up in the hand of this large creature. And from the backside, another one rises up. And then a third one as they rise and emerge, 4 in total, from the ice surrounding the tiny hut. One holding Stanley up in a hand as he struggles to get out, like, and the rest of them, boom, 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 is like 6 pairs of fists begin smashing and trying to smash the tiny hut into pieces. And the one with Stanley begins walking away. Stanley begins carrying you off.
Well,
roll for initiative.
Not to ruin any problems here, but as soon as I'm out of the hut goes away.
Oh, right.
Okay, so they hit the hut. They're hitting the hut. The hut's imminently about to dissipate.
Okay.
Initiative rolls, please.
13.
Hell.
7.
10.
Woohoo! Big fat 7.
I also got a 10.
10 is for Stanley,
Yeah.
and 7 is for Nash.
Yeah.
Pharrell.
10 as well.
Okay,
You can go first. See if you can get me out.
Okay.
Okay, let me just get some initiative rolls for these buggers. Okay.
Right. When did you get hopes?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, perfect. The elementals rise. These elemental shapes form nothing of ice, just rise. 3 of them begin smashing up top. The elementals are smashing all above on the hut, and then the hut. No, the hut's still there. Hope, it's your turn.
Oh, jeez,
The hut
Louise.
hasn't
Okay, so
dissipated yet.
the hut's still there. We're surrounded by 3 and 1's walking off with Stanley.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
More than one body per elemental?
Yeah. Yeah. They seem to have like bodies just stuck in them. Like, think of it more as decoration. They don't appear sentient or moving. It just appears that there's bodies in these ice.
Cool.
These
They're not-
man-shaped ice beings that have just emerged from the ice, like shaped.
Not like
of the
dead
ice.
mech pilot sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are any Carl, Toby, Gordon, or Benson?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Yes, they are. You take a second look, and then yes,
Oh,
you
shit.
see Toby in one of the bodies.
I
He's
knew
like,
it. I knew it.
Not Toby.
He still got a
You
little
gotta
bat
say
poo on his
Toby.
face.
Oh man, this makes this harder. No. So Hope's gonna dash out of the tiny hut
mm-hmm.
and run in front of the one that's got Stanley and scream at it, "Hit me!"
Okay, you take 2 opportunities of attack as you run through the 2 individuals or 2 giant ice beings. Okay, that. Sorry, let me get the stat here. Block. Yep, 23. Is that a hit?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, the second one is definitely a miss, though. So you take. Where's the dice for it? It's a D8. Where are you, D8? There we go. 12 points of bludgeoning damage from the
Okay.
first attack. The second one misses as one of the giant ice beings smack you in the side, hitting you in the gut as you run past. You run in front of the one taking Stanley and yell, "What? Sorry."
Hit me.
Okay. All right. Do you? That's it. That's your action. Do you want to accomplish anything? I guess a persuasion. Roll?
I'm
Intimidation?
trying to get it to damage me.
Okay, roll an
I've
intimidation
got a
check,
reaction.
please.
Oh, okay. Perfect. It's a 1. It's not gonna do anything.
Okay. Appears to ignore you completely and moves over to step on you. Now these things are tall. They're about 12 feet tall. So they're looking up at it, and it just walks and just gonna mow you down with its body on the next turn. Varel, it is your turn. You're still in the hut. The hut's magic is still there, but you begin to see it flicker with Stanley outside of it.
Cool. There are 2 in front of us, 1 carrying off Stanley, and then 1 off to the side somewhere.
There's 3 surrounding the hut and 1 carrying Stanley off.
Okay. Cool. I will tell Nash to get back and get ready to blow these icers away. And I will stand in front of him, and I will perform a throw shield when the shield goes down, but I want to make sure I'm between Nash and 3 smashers.
Okay. Okay, so you're protecting Nash. You want to position yourself so that Nash is protected from the 3 smashers. Got it. Like if there's a concave like line of scrimmage or whatever, right?
Yeah, and actually I will enter my screw the bonus action. Or the prepared action. I will enter my rage.
Yeah.
I will jump out in front of all 3.
Yeah.
Are they all within 10 feet?
Oh yeah.
Cool. I will enter my rage, do the flame burst aura for 3,
Okay.
flame damage, and I will yell, "You face Varel!" and throw my flaming shield at the first one, and then have it bounce onto the second one.
Okay. They all react wildly to your fire, like it's like "Ugh!" They swat at the fire as it, trying to like make it go away, but it doesn't. It damages them, and they take. You can tell they're taking increased damage, and then you shoot your fire. You throw your fire shield at one of them.
Yes.
Okay. Attack roll.
Okay. That is a 23.
Okay. Perfect. So that is a hit.
Awesome. And then I'm going to have it bounce onto the one next to him, and I'll just see if that hits.
Okay.
13 on that one.
13. No, the second one doesn't hit. It hits it, but doesn't damage it. Just like sort of chinks off the side of it, not really doing a lot of damage. But the first one sinks itself deep in, and you hear as it appears to make this sound with a little slit. It's almost like a mouse, but it's so small. Big chunk flies off it. What's your damage?
16 points of fire damage.
Okay, and the first time that I think we've ever done this in all of our games, but how do you do vulnerability damage? Is it plus 25%, plus 50%?
Ooh.
Is it Pokemon style like that? I'm not sure.
I need to look it up. Sorry, everyone.
It's a fair question.
Damage resistance and vulnerability. Players handbook. All right.
They're applied after the damage modifier.
Have your creature, the damage type is doubled. Okay, so that's simple. That's
Sick.
what I would think. All right, so 16 times 2 is 32 points of damage. You do 32 points of damage. As the ice just clips the side of its head and it just falls off. And it smashes onto the ground. All right, Varel, anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Nope, movement, bonus, action. I'm done.
All right, Stanley, it's your turn. The hut is now gone. And you're being carried off. You see your friends in the back fighting, and Hope is standing in front of you going, "Hit me!" to the ice elemental.
Are my hands free at the moment?
Yeah, you're being held by like the waist, like you're a little doll.
Okay. I'm going to take out my dagger,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do a booming blade on the guy who's carrying me.
Okie dokie.
So first off, let's see if it hits. That's going to be... I'm going to guess that hits. 18 plus 7 to hit.
Yeah, you're hit.
Okay. So let's see here. So for the dagger, it's 1d4, 1d8. So that's going to be 2 piercing damage and 5 thunder damage.
2 piercing damage, 5 thunder damage for 8 points of damage. Okay, and if it moves, it takes additional.
Yeah, it'll take an additional d8.
Okay.
And then, so that would be my action. Am I able to try to wriggle out, or would that be a bonus?
It's an action to break out of a grapple.
Okay, then I will continue to be carried along. Oh, another question. So, diplomacy has been sitting on the ground from where we left. Am I near it?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, I assume you picked it up after you found out it was safe or whatever, right?
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I never said it, so I was gonna.
Actually, you didn't pick it up, so it's not on you.
I was gonna go off of that. All right. Well, then I will say parlay. Can it get free?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's send it in for an attack then.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
This is a magical weapon, your dancing blade, right?
Yeah. I
Better.
think so.
Okay, just checking.
It will be a 22 to hit.
It's a hit.
All right. It's going to be. That's going to be 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Perfect.
And
Pierces
I will
into the ice.
actually say, because I forgot to add the modifier, there's an additional 4 piercing from the dagger attack as well.
You did a dagger attack?
Yeah, so the booming blade was with my dagger.
Oh, right, gotcha.
I forgot to add the +4.
I got you. Okay, perfect. The sword slices into the ice being, carving off a piece of its chest. And pieces of ice fall around Hope. And she backs up, doesn't get hit by any of it, but you see, he's carving pieces off this ice being's chest.
All right, that's it
All
from
right,
me.
Nash, your turn.
All right. Can you tell me how big they are compared to the size of Stanley? Like, you say he's like a doll in their hand, but
They're like 12 feet, so they're double your height.
double height.
Picture a person your size, but twice as tall and super thick.
How fast is he getting away from us? Like, are we gonna?
It was a 30-foot movement speed, so he's moving far enough away. That sort of pace.
Oh,
He's-
all right.
But he's behind the 3 other ice element. I'm gonna call them ice elementals, just because it's easier. They're standing in front of you. They're beings made of ice with corpses frozen inside them.
Well, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by this choice because it's. If I make him half the size so Stanley's not so small, that might be a good thing for Stanley, but also would help us a lot for these other 2 if I made Varel big. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cast Enlarge on Varel. Kind of our 1-2 combo, our wombo combo. Assuming he's willing. And,
I'm willing.
All right.
Wand, make my monster grow.
All right, I do it then.
All right, you make him twice the size. So, Varel, do the voice.
I'm not Chuck.
And he's matches the size of these beings as he grows twice in size, and you're now one of their size. They don't appear apprehensive towards this, but they are apprehensive towards you and your fire. And they both sort of step back. The 3 of them sort of step back, taking in their foe. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Nash?
No, although maybe, like, I don't have a visual here, but maybe back up a little bit. So let's say another.
Okay.
I don't know.
So Varel's standing in front of you, so you are protected from any opportunity attacks. So you move a little bit back and take in to a safer
Just to give a little range, yeah. That's my turn.
Yeah. All right. And so the last thing we hear this week is laughter. And Stanley, you begin to feel the air leave your lungs as your neck becomes tight. As you struggle and fight back with this ice elemental, something clutches your neck and grows tighter and tighter. And you realize air is being cut off from your throat as the necklace you put on, the promise to what did I call her? Damn it, I lost my flow. Serenthalas.
Serenthala.
Serenthala, as your promised amulet that you wore for Sorrenthala begins tightening itself tighter and tighter around your neck, and you begin suffocating. And that's where we leave it this time.
Jesus!
Crap.
Uh-oh. Hope feels a tad responsible.
Never trust an elf.
Hope feels a tinge of responsibility all of a sudden. I like that that's the final thing we got. We should be her face as the camera fades. She's looking like, oh no.
Yeah. Is it her menagerie of boyfriends?
Oh!
Oh, I like
I
that
love
a lot.
this chick.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
I knew we shouldn't have trusted her. All right, that's fine.
I think she's the one person we run into you didn't say.
Yeah, I think you're
I don't
right.
trust her.
Yeah, I know.
I was more obsessed
Told
with
you
Toby.
guys.
Is Toby in one of the legs or arms? Not that this isn't part of the game. I'm just curious. Which limb is he?
Yeah, he's more in the chest area.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to
But
kill him.
there's a person in one of the legs.
Oh, there is people in the legs.
It's gonna suck when you damage these things and the corpse comes flopping out of it.
I want to kill Toby so bad because I think it'll upset Grandma. I'm excited about it.
But at the
Anyway,
same time, who's carrying Stanley? Is it Benson, Carl, or Gordon?
Benson. It's probably Benson.
Damn it, Benson!
It's Benson. We couldn't trust Benson. We knew it all along.
Never trust
He warned
Benson.
us.
Well, there you go. That's a fine episode of the show. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I know that I did. We'll be back here next week for a whole another take of There Will Be Dungeons, and of course we'll pick up where we last left off. So if you're worried about our adventurers, don't be. They'll probably be okay. We'll figure it out. Until then, a reminder, if you want to support this show, we have a custom-built support system we built ourselves. It's pretty rad and has great things in it. And if you want to go find out what that is, go to therewillbedungeons.com, click on the support link, and find a level that's right for you. There's a bunch of you that already have, and we really want to thank you for that. It means a great deal to us and helps keep the show, the campaign, and all of us here. So please continue your support, and go check it out if you haven't. Get in for a little if you want, and hardly anything. It's super cheap. That's therewillbedungeons.com. Go there today. That's going to do it for us. Bo, any final words of wisdom from our intrepid DM?
The next time a nice old lady offers you soup, you should politely accept eating it.
Oh, shit. That's a good lesson to learn. All right. That's going to do it for us.
That what did it? We would have been fine if we ate the soup.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the answer.
I feel like you had these ice giants were coming either way, is my opinion.
No, that's not canon. That thing I said is not canon.
Oh, okay.
Just
Oh,
some
we should
advice
save the soup.
All
from
right.
one hag to the world.
To another. Thanks, everybody, for watching, listening, and being here.
Eat my soup.
We'll see you next week.
Soup.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.